the eternal difficulty of business valuations. Is this thing worth what I'm paying for it? That has been the source of litigation in business downturns for 40 or 50 years and perhaps longer. What a business is worth is essentially what the market or someone in the market is prepared to pay for it. But there is some science that you can adopt. If you're buying a new franchise territory and it's a startup, the goodwill of the business is worth nil. The equipment that you will buy will be worth whatever the equipment manufacturer is going to sell it to you for, and then there will be the franchisor's fees. Now, they're called lots of different things. They must all be disclosed to you in the franchise disclosure document and in the documentation that comes with it. But there's essentially an upfront franchise fee in most cases. Then there's a royalty that goes behind that that's based on the gross turnover, not the net turnover. So if you gross $100 and your expenditure is $110 and you've got a net loss of $10, you're still going to be paying that franchise fee. Then there are things like marketing fees and other royalties that can sometimes be tacked onto that. So that business has a goodwill value of zero because it's a startup business. If you're buying an existing territory, then there will be a goodwill component, and that goodwill component is based on the usual turnover of that territory business. What I mean by that is that you're handing over money to the outgoing franchisee based on the expectation that over, at the very least, the first 12 months that you're there, you can expect some income from this thing. You can expect it to operate broadly as it has done for the last 36 months or so. So the goodwill component of the business is worked out based upon an average of the last 36 months of its trading. So the average 12 months of the last 36 will be worked out, and then the valuer, if your accountant's doing it or your financier's doing it, or if you engage a valuer, will apply what's called an industry multiplier. Now what that is a formula designed to work out how much return you'll get on your investment. So if you're going to tip, to help my mathematics, $100,000 into this business and you're going to get 20% return on that, then the industry multiplier is 5. 20% return by 5 for, $20,000 by 5 for $100,000 down. So the average of the last 36 months worth of income would be multiplied by 5, and that is the goodwill of that business. So to that is then added the written down equipment value, any fixtures and fittings, any items that you're buying. Sometimes people will buy the trade debtors and the uncompleted work in progress. You need to look at those issues when you're coming to sign your contract. All of those things will affect the purchase price, and there is endless argument and negotiation about the value of a purchase price, and ultimately it's quite subjective. You might get all of that mathematics. Your accountant might go through all of that and say, look, I think this business is worth $500,000, and you might say either, I don't care, I've only got 300 and I'm going to offer 300. Or you might say, look, I think this business has really got great upside and I think it's worth more to me, I'm going to offer 650. Ultimately, the price that you offer needs to be a price that you can afford, that you believe the business can sustain, and it needs to fit with those long-term goals that I've talked about in other video clips. Whatever you pay for a business needs to be able to be sustained, obviously, but needs to fit with what you're planning to do. There's a significant number of franchisees that have made quite a career out of buying derelict and bankrupt franchise territories, using their expertise to get them up and going and flick them on. In fact, many large retail food style franchise groups have these people waiting in the wings with the idea that they will step in and keep a franchise outlet going. It's good for the franchise group, and it's also very lucrative for the cleaners, as they call them, who will pick up a franchise territory and turn it over. So again, it's about your goals. You might feel that there is a certain upside to taking on a business which has some problems, but you should only do so if you're absolutely confident that you can cure those problems.